Jordan Peterson is an author and psychologist. He is on tour right now until the end of March, and he's supporting his new book, We Who Wrestle with God. I just saw him last night in Cincinnati, and it was intellectually stimulating, spiritually invigorating. I went with a group of friends, and we went afterwards and talked about, kind of digested, here are the points that were made. Let me just tell you how the evening works. It's very interesting. Plain stage, a couple of chairs on the stage. His wife comes out first. She gives a maybe 5-minute meditation on the book of Jonah and what it's meant to her today. Then she introduces her husband. He comes out and talks for an hour and 15 minutes-ish off the top of his head, no notes. Then they sit down in those chairs. The wife comes back on stage and she asks him a couple of questions they have gathered from the audience, and he riffs. It's very interesting hearing Jordan Peterson talk about the scriptures. He talked extensively about Jacob's ladder. He talked about, for instance, following one's conscience as hearing the voice of God, and that Jacob was a bad guy, but he had this vision of maybe I'm interpreting, maybe I could be a good guy. Maybe I could make some decisions so that I could get on this ladder up to the heavenly. And he contrasted Jacob's pathway, being a wrestler with God and one of the patriarchs of the Jewish people, with someone like Jonah, who he violated his conscience. He felt that God was telling him to go speak to these people in Nineveh. He didn't want to warn them. And he said no to what his conscience, the voice of God, was saying to him. And he was swallowed by this great beast. Now, I'll make a comment here about Jordan Peterson isn't a Bible teacher per se. What he does is give a psychological interpretation of what the Bible says. He takes the Bible very seriously. And he says, as a psychologist, for instance, there's this picture of this satanic beast taking Jonah to hell, to the bottom of the earth, because he's violating his conscience. And then when he repents, he says, God, I'm going to do what you say, even though it's not what I want to do. What happens? The fish brings him back up to earth and belches him out. Anyways, it's very intellectually stimulating. I felt really encouraged to be more of a man of faith. And one thing I love about Peterson, he takes the word so seriously, more serious than many preachers who play fast and loose and insert their own opinions, etc. He totally respects the word. It was a wonderful evening. I recommend it to anybody who's serious about thinking. It's an A+.